Good morning. It's Sunday, May 13th. It's 8 o'clock. I've been hiking for about an hour. And as you can tell, we've got some clouds and mist this morning. And this is my first look at a Pennsylvania farm. This one's been freshly plowed. And I could smell it before I even got down here to where it was. So if you saw my last video, you know I did 15.6 to Alec Shelter, and I stopped at like 1 o'clock, which is the first time I've ever stopped that early to shelter. And the dilemma was that after that point there was one campsite close to Boiling Springs, which I'm walking into now. But they were calling for heavy rain, possible hail, heavy winds, and possible tornado. So I didn't want to come down here to this campsite and set my tent up and deal with that. Plus, I knew from Early Riser's video that the train comes right by that campsite several times a night and keeps you awake all night. So I stayed at the shelter yesterday all afternoon. It was nice and sunny, and really questioning my decision. And so there was a thru hiker there when I got there, and then a flip-flopper came in after me. I'd passed her, so I knew she was coming. And then another flip-flopper came in, and then a section hiker came in. And then very late, a guy named Turtle came in. He's finishing up his hike from last year. He had to leave for a family emergency last year. So we had 6 in there altogether. There was plenty of room. We could accommodate at least 2 more, but nobody else came. It's right about 6 o'clock. The skies got darker, the temperature dropped, and you could hear thunder in the distance, and it started raining lightly. But I was able to get my Idahoan potatoes prepared and eaten, and then got in bed. And at 8 o'clock the bottom dropped out and it was heavy rain, and I was so glad not to be out in that and to be in a shelter. So I made the right decision. One advantage of stopping early at that particular shelter was I had 4 bars of service on Verizon, and I was able to upload 5 videos to YouTube. So I got almost caught up, except for yesterday, and it was 8 o'clock by the time I got done doing all that, and so I decided to go to sleep instead of producing and uploading that last video. You know, there's a lot of debate about whether to wear shoes with Gore-Tex or shoes without Gore-Tex, but I've got my Solomon X Ultra low top shoes on with the Gore-Tex, and I'm walking in this wet grass, and I'm glad I got the Gore-Tex, because if I didn't have Gore-Tex, my feet would already be saturated. Cow manure. Lovely smell. So, getting back to my decision to stay at the shelter, had I risked going on, I could have been walking through this open field in a thunderstorm, which would not be good at all. So again, I feel like I made a good decision. Today, I'm getting ready to go into Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, see what's open there. I might stop and get a cup of coffee and a sandwich. I'm not doing any resupply there. I'm trying to do 18 miles to the next shelter, and I've got several miles of this flat open area to cover. I checked the weather radar. There was another band of storms coming in. I'm not sure what time it's going to get here, but hopefully I can get across this open area through the valley. It's the Cumberland Valley before another batch of storms kicks up. So I'm going to have to put the video down and hike just a little faster. So with that, this is Reboot, heading north. One thing I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot this because I was thinking about it right before I turned the video on, is today's Mother's Day. And this won't be posted till after Mother's Day, and I've already sent texts to all the mothers that I have in my immediate family to say Happy Mother's Day. So Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I hope that you had a great Mother's Day. And I hope that everyone took time to get in touch with their mother and wish them a Happy Mother's Day. My mother died back in 2005, but I think about her every day and miss her and cherish her memory. So I'm walking into Boiling Springs and I noticed this house to my right, and I really like old houses. I don't intend to buy one and fix it up. It's not a project I see in retirement, but I do love looking at them, and one of the guys here fishing by the lake said they're in the process of restoring it, so that would be really cool. And if there's anybody watching the video that knows the history of this house, who originally built it and what their role was here in Boiling Springs, I'd be interested in knowing that. So this is the main part of Boiling Springs. The ATC Mid-Atlantic is down there. You see those people making a right, that white sign. This is Cafe 101. It's Sunday morning and it is open, but I opened the door and looked in there. It was a sit-down restaurant and it looked a little fancy for a stinky through hiker, when I'm sure people are having Mother's Day breakfast with their families. So I came over here to the Lakeside Food Mart, and they have a real nice resupply. And I didn't need to resupply that much, so I just got a Danish, a couple of honey buns, a cup of coffee, pack of donuts, just comfort food for today. But if you do need to resupply, he has a lot of bars, so you could do breakfast and lunch and snack resupply here. Not so much with the dinners. And a good selection of ice cream. And the guy that was running the place, his name is Kenny, and he was very hiker friendly, very friendly. And he was walking around, wiping down everything, cleaning the store. The store was very well organized and very clean. All right, I'm gonna head back down here to see what this outfit has. Okay, so exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. I'm crossing Cumberland Valley through open fields and through narrow corridors of woods between the open fields, and I hear thunder in the distance, and I get out in an open area and there's a flash of lightning, and like a second later there's the thunder. So I started running as fast as a 51-year-old man with a 30-pound pack, bad knees and
1,000-mile worn feet can go, which was remarkably fast in my mind. And about 100 yards, I guess, to the, that was a water drop that just landed on the lens. It's still bad. There we go. About 100 yards to the wood line, and I heard some more thunder, and I pulled up weather bug, and there was some red that had already gone over. It was east of me. I was, from what best I could tell, still in a yellow area with a big green band behind it. But the problem is I'm at a road crossing here. If you can see that, let me change views.
So that's southbound, that's where I came from. And you can kind of see how the trail's in a, as I said, a narrow corridor of trees. But there's an open field right there with a post with a yellow, post with a white blaze on it. So I got to cross that field. Stopped here about 15 minutes ago, and it was still thundering. So I was afraid to cross that field. You can see that white blaze over there. Sorry for the shaking, the zoom in. So I sat on this log right here, ate a snack, drank a little water. I'm just waiting to see if I hear any more thunder. So you can, I've had snow, ice, freezing rain, high winds, temperatures in the teens, and now you can check thunderstorm off the list of things I've had to endure. So we'll get going here in a second as soon as I think it's safe. I'm at mile 1130.5, and this is the first time I've seen anything like this. I don't know who put this out here. Oh, I guess the petroleum pipeline people. And it's for this grading. Wow. Okay. I was going to say, if ATC had done that, they're a little behind on that. So about a mile back, I crossed over 11, which goes into Carlisle. And when I crossed over that bridge, I looked to my left, I could see civilization, hot town food. There's a couple of motels there. And with the crappy weather, I was tempted to walk in there. But I just came through Boiling Springs. I'm going to be in Duncannon tomorrow, so I kept going. And then I crossed over 81, which is, a high arching bridge with no cover. And now I'm in this field. So if you're coming northbound at any point in the future, and you get in this valley, and there's lightning, or you hear thunder in the distance, go into Carlisle, because you do not want to be out in this open. And I mean, I'm in the open. But thank goodness the thunder and the lightning passed over, or I would have been going into Carlisle myself. So I feel very fortunate that I just had some very limited exposure to the lightning there just for a few minutes. So, but also, it could be 90 degrees and the sun bearing down on me. Or it could be cold and very windy and sideways rain like it was in Shenandoah Park that day. So I feel pretty fortunate. Okay, I'm not sure how many miles I have to this shelter. It might be 5 or 6, I hope. I expect to be there about 3:30. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Just to the left of that brown house, I can see the mountains in the background, so I can see where I'm going to be out of this valley finally. And I know there's no way around this, but this has been an interesting part of the trip, to say the least. As I was saying, there's the mountains, the other side of the valley finally. But I got to run the gauntlet of all these heifers. Hopefully they are all heifers and no bulls. I'm on the Pennsylvania boardwalk next to a river whose name I can't pronounce. Conneauquonet Creek. That's the biggest creek I've ever seen. We call those rivers where I'm from. This goes on for a while. So right after you cross the Conneauquonet Creek on that bridge, you get to the ATC Scott Farm Trail Work Center. The comments on gut hooks said not to drink the water that had tested positive for bacteria, which fortunately I don't need any water, but I do need that covered picnic table right there. Well, I've crossed the valley and I've started to climb up onto the next ridge, and someone built a very ornate rock bench. Right here on the side of the trail for this view. And as has often been in the past, there's only one of me, so instead of the no view crew, it's the no view dude. I'm sure it's beautiful on a clear day. This is going to be the wrap up for day 84. This is Darlington Shelter. It's where I'm staying for the night. I got here at 3 o'clock and grabbed a bunk inside, got a good spot. And several other people have already come in. It's still early, so we may be full tonight. The air is just saturated with moisture. It's not raining, except when the breeze blows the rain off the trees, but it's a little bit chilly. But going into Duncannon tomorrow, 11.3 miles, so looking forward to that. And I did a little over 18 today, no issues, and glad to be here for tonight. So with that, it's all good in the woods.